What's up, guys? My name's Royce, and welcome to my channel where I talk about all things film and tech related. And today we're going to talk about the magnetic mask in the new Final Cut Pro 11 update. I know this has been out for a little bit now, everybody's covering it, but I wanted to take time to make this video to showcase how I've been using it and how potentially you could use it too. What I'm talking about is adding a little bit more background blur to your videos in situations where maybe you're shooting with an iPhone or like a DJI Pocket 3, sometimes where, you're not getting that nice separation the way you would want. You actually can use the magnetic mask, just to throw a little bit more blur back there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. So let me just go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. I have Final Cut 11 open right now, and I have a couple different shots. Two of them, just me at the park, just being me. And this other one was actually a fun project that I shot with my friends Cleo Thomas and Wes Was Good Armstrong. We were at Disney one day and for the Star Wars event, and we just decided to shoot a little Star Wars short film. It was supposed to be a three-parter. We only got part one up, and this is from that first one. And all these shots were shot on an iPhone 15 Pro. So perfect example for wanting to just kind of bump up that background, because that's the one thing with shooting on an iPhone, right? Super convenient, but when it comes to getting certain looks that you want just to kind of make yourself look a little more cinematic, sometimes it's problematic. So to get started, I'm going to go to the magnetic mask, and you can just double click to apply it. And now we can go ahead and just literally with a couple clicks, which is just still so awesome, I can isolate myself. Nice. Ah, so cool. And then I can hit the minus here and just subtract some of that there. Ah, man, how times have changed. Let me add just a little bit more there. Clean that up. Okay, cool. Good enough. Now you do want to be careful with this effect because it can come off a little cheesy, and I'll kind of show you what I mean in a second as we apply this. Now let me go ahead and analyze backwards. Then I'm going to analyze forwards. Cool. And then I'm just going to hit done. And there I go. I've isolated myself. Now I am going to, I should have done this actually beforehand, but I'm going to copy this clip up to the top here. And I'm going to click on the bottom clip again and delete the magnetic mask. So oh, nope, don't delete the whole thing. Delete the magnetic mask here. So we keep that. So now we have our layer that has the mask on it, and that is with the full image. So now what I can do is on the effects page here again, I can go up to blur, and I can go to Gaussian blur. Double click, add that. Oh yeah, now that's cinematic. No, it's not. So we can go, and obviously we're gonna wanna adjust that, right? So let's just turn that all the way down, and then just kind of, we can just boost it just a little bit. This is what I was talking about. You don't want to push this too far because this is where it can get a little janky and wonky. Because if I'm just like, yeah, and I put this out, and I'm like, hey guys, you like my stuff? You're going to be like, no, we don't. So you just want to dial that down just to where, just to get a little bit, right? Because now you got to think about too, okay, if I'm actually shooting this with a lens that's going to allow me to get this type of look and effect, what would that actually look like, right? What are my f-stops? What is this, a f2 2.2? I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like I know, but I'm gonna get it close enough. I kind of know what it looks like. So that's kind of good there. And then I can go to my top clip here again, and let's go to feather. So it's not like right on the body. I don't know if you guys can see that, but here, let me zoom in. So you can kind of see like around here, adding that feather. So it's not like a super hard cutoff there. We can actually let that mask kind of roll off a little bit more, make it look a little bit more natural, something like that. And again, not super accurate because it literally is blurring the entire image and just leaving me, where how this would actually work in a camera is, there would be some roll off here up in the front. So not this whole kind of like section here wouldn't just be blurred. You use it in very specific moments. You don't want to use this for every single shot. A wider shot might not even have that much depth of field anyway. But what you can do to make it make more sense, I can take both of these clips. Let's zoom them in there. So maybe like a tighter shot makes more sense to do this, right? So we don't get as much foreground in there. You hit play. That works actually pretty well. And so this is another shot we have here. So let me actually duplicate beforehand and silence the bottom one. go over to our mask, apply it. There we go. Look at the hands. It's pretty good. We'll take out that shadow, take this out, look at that. This is like just me doing this really quick. I'm not even trying to really fine tune right now, and it still does so well. This is beautiful. Track backwards and track forwards. Then we'll hit done. Nice. Bring the other shot back in, and let's just copy and paste the effect. So it added a little bit of blur back in there. Maybe we want to do a little bit more. No, it's a little too much. Yep, a little too much. Yeah. You know, something like that. Trying to be as realistic as possible under the circumstances. Add a little feather. Let it breathe a little bit. Yeah, let's hit play. You know? Not bad. And again, this kind of like foreground here, it wouldn't just be my body. If we could see this much of the image, this is not how it would come out from an actual camera. But depending on what you're, showing this on, social media, anything with smaller screens, or if you just really don't care, you just kind of want to add a little pizzazz to it, I think this is a really good option, right? And then we don't even have to just stick with the Gaussian blur, right? We can switch and do like radial to get some, real cool effect. And you could say like, oh, I got this really cool lens that does this cool like swirly effect, with the bokeh, man, it's really dope. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Yeah, but this is just a way you can kind of do that to add that extra depth to your projects in, reasonable way. Now, just to show another one, this last example here, this has 2 people in it, right? So this is that project I was saying we shot at Disney, kind of just for fun. For the Star Wars event, and I just wanted to showcase this is a wider shot with 2 people. You could still pull off the same effect, right? Because that's what's cool about the magnetic mask is you can do multiple people. So let me duplicate and shut off that first clip and go back down to masks here, add that on there, and we'll track Wes first, and then we'll just subtract here. You get a little bit more around his cape, it looks like. So let's switch here to the paint tool. We actually got to add his watch there. So we got that. Yeah, we'll just kind of paint around this edge. Down like that. Yeah, should be good enough. All right, so let's track forward. I mean, we lose it a little bit there, but that's fine. That's something I would just go and take my time to fine tune later on. And then we'll go ahead and add a person. Now we'll do Cleo. Make sure to get his hair. And yeah, let's see if we can get his lightsaber. That'd be dope. And then go to subtract. Nice. That's actually pretty cool. Let's see if we get that right there. Yeah. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Track forward. Ooh, sick. It got it. All right, let's see how it does this walk away. Yes. Yes. Let's go. Let's go. You got it all in there. All right, so we'll hit done. Perfect. Got a mask. It's not a perfect mask, but that's okay. We'll bring that back in. Gaussian blurred there. Bam. It looks a hot mess right now. That's okay. Because what we're going to do is, first we're going to reduce the blur about here. And this is a wide shot, right? So we don't want to go too crazy with it anyway, but just adding just a little bit, like maybe like that is good. That works. Then we feather them out a little bit. Bring this in, let them breathe, hit play. Woo! That's not bad. That's not bad. I like that, right? And even though the blur is subtle, it just adds a little bit more to it. Here, let's zoom in. So we really see the background, 100%. So just like look over here, off, on. So we actually see subtle, but actually a decent amount. It's like, what if we put it like even to 6? Let's say that might be too much. Fit here. No, that still works. And there you go. And that's something you can add. Again, this was all shot on an iPhone, right? So you could just throw this in there, give that iPhone a little bit more depth. Yes, you're fixing it in post, which you're not supposed to do. But in certain circumstances where you don't care about that, this is what you can do. Fix it in post. Now, I know all the DaVinci guys, just chill out, all right? I'm sure you probably have already commented, you could do this in DaVinci, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. I actually did this all the time in DaVinci before Final Cut using their depth map effect. And what that actually does, which the magnetic mask doesn't do, is it actually calculates the depth in the scene and does a really good job. So it actually indicates foreground from background to even subject in the scene. And so when you add the blur, it actually adds it in a more intelligent way that simulates an actual camera once you add the blur in more realistically than doing the magnetic mask, where this is actually more of a manual process. If you wanted to adjust that foreground blur a little bit more realistically, it would be up to us to do that manually, which at that point, I'm not trying to do that. I'm only going to do this for very specific shots where I know I can kind of pull it off and it wouldn't look too gimmicky, especially if I know this is just going on social media or YouTube. But maybe I'll do that video next, how to do this in DaVinci, so you guys can compare, see what works better for you. But that's it for this video. Hopefully you learned a few tricks and another way you can utilize a magnetic mask. And if you did find this video helpful, please like and subscribe. It really means a lot. And yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out.